Chapter 21. Beautiful Surprises. Malcolm and Julia's Wonderful Surprise. They get home from their maternity test, and Lisa and Samuel was spending time at the beach together. Malcolm was having a rest inside the house with Gladys, and Paul came through the pastor's house. Gladys: Paul, do you want some bread and cheese? Paul: No, it's okay, I'm not hungry. But Dad, what is that fake mother of mine doing here with Samuel? Dad, keep her away from him, she is poison. Malcolm: Son, there is something I need to tell you. Go and phone your sisters and tell them to get here. I just need them here. Gladys: I will pay you for the phone call. Gladys: Don't be silly. Paul, just go ahead and use the phone. There is no need for any payment. So Paul called them, and they arrive an hour later that evening after they finish their work. They come through John and Gladys' house, and she welcomes them in. Malcolm: My darling children, please sit down and listen carefully. Phoebe: What's the news, Daddy? Malcolm: I don't know how to say this without beating around the bush, so I am just going to come out with it. Lisa is Samuel mom. Riley: What? Malcolm nods his head. Paul: Oh my goodness, that woman is such a tart. Malcolm: Yes, she was pregnant and none of us noticed. She was having an affair while she was visiting her best friend. She met her best friends. Neighbor slept with him. She gave the baby to her cousin so that no one would find out. Her cousin pretended that the baby was hers and her husband. Then when her husband died, she gave Samuel to the orphanage. Paul in anger: Right, that does it. I am going to slap that Lisa. Malcolm grabbing Paul's son: Calm down. Violence won't resolve anything. We need to all just calm down. Phoebe: And I forgave my mom. Malcolm: That is very good, daughters, and I encourage you to carry on forgiving her, because deep down I know you want to have her in your life. Riley: I can't believe this. I feel so angry with that woman right now. Malcolm: Girls, please keep forgiving your mom because she is very regretful for all her past abuse and has even become a born-again Christian. Your mom has been through more than you realize. Paul walks round and round, thinking in anger. Gladys: Children, I know your mom did an awful thing, but I believe she is genuinely sorry. Paul, biting his nail, had a flashback. I just want all the messages in my mind to stop. Daddy, make them stop. Malcolm: Paul, I am worried about you. Please tell what is going through your mind, son. Paul: You say that you and Mom never had sex, right? Malcolm: Son, you know that your mom and I slept in different beds back in them days. Paul: There was the one time. Malcolm: No, son, we didn't have sex. Riley: Daddy, Paul is right. I will record the event back. Riley: Going back about 17 years ago, we were only just about 4 years old. I was going to the toilet and I heard some silly laughter coming from both of you. I saw wine bottles by the side of your bed, which I thought was really weird, and Darren told us all about what you both was up to, and we did not like it at all. Then Sharon ran over to us with Julia, and Sharon demanded that we went back to be trying to protect us from knowing about the birds and the bees. Once we got back to bed, we still heard Julia and Sharon talking. Going back 17 years. Sharon: Oh my goodness, foolish man, how could he touch her? Julia: Sharon, did you not see the wine bottles? They were out of themselves, so they are. Not knowing what they're doing now. Sharon: Beloved sister, in fact, I was learning in school today that getting drunk makes you do things you do not know or want to do. Malcolm: Oh my goodness, in fact, I remember that day I had a big argument with your mom. We both got so upset and turned to drink that night. We were both out of our minds. Paul: Daddy, there's a chance that you and Lisa could have conceived Samuel, which explains why he looks so much like you. Malcolm: No, son, don't even think of it. Suddenly, Malcolm gets a call from the DNA center to go with Samuel that evening, to have them both tested. Malcolm then ran outside to tell Lisa, but unaware of Malcolm was walking away, going back to her holiday home. Malcolm. Lisa waits. Please wait. I have news to tell you. They get into deep conversation as he explains to her the situation concerning the DNA test, so she agrees with him having a test. Just Malcolm and Samuel went back to the DNA center this time, and they sat down in anticipation, waiting together. Malcolm. Son, don't get your hopes up too high, but remember that whatever happens, you are still my son in my spirit and soul. Samuel nods his head. I understand, Daddy, that the chances are very slim. The DNA scientist then came out smiling. I have got some very good news for you. Samuel is your real flesh and blood son. Malcolm and Samuel hug in happy tears together. And when they get back to their holiday home that evening, there is more good news. Phoebe's and Riley's husbands turn up to the holiday home and tell their husbands and family that they were pregnant and both expecting boys. A couple of more months had passed while Malcolm was with the older couple, and by that time he was very happy to know that Samuel had turned out to be his flesh and blood son. The girls decided to be friends with their mom again, and Lisa had even came round a few times and shared barbecue on the beach together. Even Malcolm forgave her and agreed together with Lisa to become good friends again. As for Paul, he had decided to get on with his life without her, but not to hold any hatred in his heart towards her either. Phoebe and Riley were getting bigger now that they were into their pregnancy. He also heard from a mutual friend that Joyce had moved to another country with a man friend that she had made and had success in their fortune-telling business together. He never heard from Josephine ever again or even wanted to. Some more good news was that Sharon had a pregnancy test, and it was positive. She was delighted, as was her husband, Ben. Julia was also getting on with her life, living her life in dedication to Jesus, and she had concentrated all her energy on helping her beloved sister, who she loved and adored, which helped ease her pain to concentrate on someone else. Julia's family was all very proud of her because of the way she had supported Sharon through Sharon's stillbirth upset. But of course, Sharon was once again happy because she was pregnant again. But one morning, the sisters had decided to visit both Trap and Daniel's grave. While in the meantime, Malcolm was coming back to his home with his children, and he also decided to visit the same graveyard which had Christina's grave in it. Malcolm thanked the old couple and came back home to get back into his job again. His employer had let him have 3 months off, so it was 3 months all in all that Malcolm had been away, but he was coming back immediately. Sharon, Ben, and Julia arrived at the graveyard while their parents looked after all of their children. But Peter went with his mother Julia to visit his dad's grave. They put flowers on both Trap's and Daniel's grave, and they were not easily recognized because they were wearing black clothes that covered them all up. Ben and Sharon looked at each other holding hands, while Julia and Peter held each other's hand. Ben. Sharon, my beloved, remember little Daniel has a very special place in heaven that God is preparing for him as we speak. Peter starts crying. Daddy is dead. Julia, holding Peter close. My beloved baby boy, sweetheart, one day we will see Daddy again in heaven, where there will be everlasting life. No more tears, no more suffering, no more pain. And remember, Daddy will always live in your heart, pointing to his heart. And although Julia was upset deeply by Trap's death, she was coping and being strong also for the sake of her children, whom she doted upon, and totally adore her children. Without the family being aware, Malcolm had also arrived at the graveyard to visit Christina's grave. He was also wearing all black, covering himself up. Sharon. Julia, sweetheart, we will give you and Peter time alone to be near Trap's grave, and I will wait for you and Peter in the carriage. If you need me for anything, let us know. Julia. God bless you, beloved sister, thank you. Meanwhile, Malcolm told his children to go into the church to let him have a moment on his own with Christina. Suddenly, Malcolm started crying and talking to Christina. Malcolm. Yes, darling, I still miss you even after all this time, kisses her grave. Peter, pointing. Look, Mommy, that man is sad. Julia looked over, still not recognizing Malcolm under his black mourning clothes, which Peter and Julia were also wearing with veils over their heads. Julia and Peter walked over to the Malcolm. Julia. Excuse me, sir, I can see that you are very upset, so can I help you? Malcolm, Julia, and Peter, who still did not recognize each other, sat down together on the graveyard bench, and they got talking. Malcolm. My wife died a few years back from a serious cancer, and I was heartbroken. Julia. My husband died also. He died in an accident in which my son and I were not expecting it at all. Malcolm. Oh, my dear, that's devastating, and I am so very sorry. As for me, there is never a day that passes by where I don't think of my wife. Julia. That's how I feel. Dear sir reaches for his hand in compassion, and he accepts her hand and holds her hand back. Malcolm. I never loved anyone as much as I did wife. Well, in fact, there was only one woman that I loved more than her who I knew since she was a little girl. She was my angel, and I have never loved any human being more than I have loved her, but she married another man, which broke my heart. Julia. Oh, my goodness, that's awful. That must have really broke your heart, too, and I am so very sorry to hear that. Malcolm. Yes, dear, I was sad, so sad. But the worst part of my life was when my angel married another man. Anyway, enough of me. How did your husband die? You said he was in some kind of accident. Julia. I am so sorry that you lost the girl of your dreams. I know how that feels because I was in love with a man who was such a gentleman. The story is complicated. He was a married man. But his wife was so abusive and mean and flirted around other men. My husband died in the ship that sunk coming home from Russia. But I will let you into a secret, too. I was more heartbroken over losing the love of my life than I was Trap, because, like you, I have never loved any other human being as much as I loved him, and we also went back many years together. Malcolm, by what Julia had just said, knew from there that he was talking to his beloved Julia, and as his put his hand in hers, he remembered the soft feeling of her hands. Julia then recognized him too, and they put their foreheads together. Malcolm, sobbing happy tears. Beloved Julia, my darling, Julia, is that you, my precious pearl? Julia, with such relief and joy, then recognized him too. Julia, tears of relief streaming down her face. Oh, my beloved Malcolm, is that why we are here together, or is this just a dream? Malcolm, stroking her face, sobbing his heart out. After all those years, God has finally put us back together again. Julia. So true, beloved. And this is the biggest miracle that I ever experienced in my entire life. Malcolm, taking of his mourning cloth to revile his gray hair and red puffy hands. Julia, after you gone, my looks went downhill, and I no longer look like the man that I used to. I was scared of what you would think of me now, looking like this. Julia. Oh, my goodness, Malcolm. As if I care about how you look. It is you that I am in love with, not your looks, and I'm just happy to be with you. It's such a miracle. Peter, smiling the nice man. Julia. Peter, darling, there is something I have to tell you. This nice man is your real daddy. Peter smiled in excitement. Then, as Malcolm's children came over to them, Peter and Christina formed an instant bond, and Malcolm told the children to give the couple time, so children agreed and obeyed and went off to play. Malcolm, with his arms open wide, I've been needing and wanting to do this with you for many years now. Girl, come here and give me a big hug. They hugged and cried, staying in each other's arms. Julia, I missed you so much. I should have never married Trap. It's you that I really wanted, loved, and needed all along. Malcolm, shh. There, it's okay, my precious dove, all is forgiven. And there was never a moment that passed where I didn't think about you. It was emotional agony, and I never stopped loving you. But I should have come after you. I should never have rejected you the way I did. Julia, my precious beloved, I also forgive you. Losing you was the greatest loss of all. I could not breathe without you. The couple just sat there in each other's arms, crying both tears of joy and relief for about a whole hour and kissing each other's cheeks. Sharon realizes that Julia was taking so long, decided to get back out of the carriage and come and fetch her sister, and then, to her pleasant surprise, she saw Malcolm and Julia hugging. They both look up to Sharon with red, tear-stained eyes where they both had been crying. Sharon smiled with a twinkle in her eye. I knew all along that God would bring you back together, because you are true soulmates. Julia, my eternal beloved, there's something I want to ask you. Malcolm smiling. What is that, my dear eternal beloved? Julia, well, it is not too late to give all our children a real family at last. Is it blushes as she asks? Sharon. Malcolm, my dear, in other words, my sister wants to know if you will become one with her in holy matrimony and marry her. Malcolm looking into her eyes, is that what you want, sweetheart? Julia nods her head, saying, yes, my beloved. I never wanted anything more since I started my huge crush on you at only the age of 13. Chapter 22. The Miracle of Eternal Youth, Love, and Joy. It was at that time that it dawned on the couple that at least they were moving forward into their happily ever after, and a rushing flood of joy, flooding like many waters, passed through both Malcolm's and Julia's heart, body, and soul. Malcolm looked at the sisters, pleasantly surprised at Julia's priceless request, but the couple was interrupted by the children running back. Christina, Daddy, I love my brother Peter, he is lovely. Peter, I love you too, dear little sister. Malcolm just smiles and Christina comes back, tugging her dad. Christina, Daddy, can we go to the park? Malcolm, later, sweetheart. Malcolm beckoned Peter to sit on his lap, and Peter came and sat on his lap. Peter, my darling boy, I missed you so much. You're my universe. I adore you, my precious baby boy. Peter. Peter smiles and rests his head on Malcolm's chest. I love you too, Daddy. Christina, pointing towards Julia. Daddy, I want that nice lady to be my mom. Julia looked at little Christina and picked her up on her lap, smiling, and gave her a hug, and Julia felt instant love and protection for the little toddler. Julia, what an adorable little girl you have. She looks like you. Kisses her head. Malcolm smiling. Yes, that's what everyone says. In fact, I have lots to tell you, Julia. For one, Samuel is my real flesh and blood son, but I tell you about it later. Julia, that is the most wonderful news, and I am so happy for you both. Samuel then was about the graveyard, and he smiled, and so did Malcolm. Malcolm, children, how do you feel if we made this family more permanent, if Julia and Peter and her girls, who you haven't met yet, but will soon move in with us? All the children cheered, happily agreed with their father's idea, and Malcolm and Julia knew that Maria and Dawn would also be happy with the arrangements. Malcolm smiling. Then the answer to your question is, yes, Julia. Of course I marry you, but I want to make it into a proper and special marriage proposal. Julia, what are you going to do, my dearly beloved? Malcolm winking, you will see later, my dove, but I have a very special plan. Everyone there cheered in gladness, and Sharon even had a tear in her eye. All of a sudden, Julia's heart beaten fast. She knew that she was going to be again swept away in her beloved's loving presence, and her heart told her the truth as Malcolm kissed her with so much passion and true love, and then whispered in her ear, "I have been looking forward to this moment ever since we first fell in love, and soon we are about to become one is heart, body, and soul, and with God's blessing." Both so happy they had their forehead to forehead, and everyone standing cheered, "Oh, how sweet!" Then, without the children, noticing Malcolm and Julia saw the gardener of the graveyard, all of a sudden, the Holy Spirit fell upon the couple in a powerful way. The gardener came up to the couple and showed them their images in his mirror. "Malcolm, what has happened to my appearance? I look so young again, just as I did when I first met Julia." "Julia, and I look like what I did when I was only 18 years old. How can this be?" "Gardener, you have both proved your undying and unconditional love for each other and for God, so God is smiling down upon you both. He is very pleased with you both, and as a gift for your love together, your wedding gift from God is to restore back to you both your youth, so you both can start all over again, as if you both never been apart or had even a day apart from each other. He is blessing you both with long, happy, and healthy life, and Malcolm, you are no longer sterilized, so both of you together can have many more children together. And you can both let your ex-spouses go because they are now in God's hand." With that, the gardener smiled at them. Both went over to the rose bush in the garden, but all of a sudden disappeared. "Julia, Sir Gardener pleases with what has just happened, and where did you just disappear to?" Malcolm, smiling, whispered in Julia's ear, "I think we just saw an angel, and you are the most priceless gift God ever gave me in my life. We will have many more children together. They will be the expression of our love, and I don't think our ex-spouses will visit us in our dreams no more, because they done their job of bringing us both back together, and now they are resting under the love of Christ." Julia smiled at Malcolm. "Yes, my darling. You're right, my darling beloved. We are so blessed, and God is so good, and I am so honored to give my life and heart to you, to share my life with you and only you, because there is no other lover for me than you." Malcolm smiled and gently laid Julia's head on his chest, and he smiled unbuttoning his shirt to expose his hairy chest, because he knew Julia liked that, and she kissed his chest. Samuel was then standing near the couple. "Samuel, Julia guesses what Lisa is my mom, and Dad and I have made friends with her now." "Julia, darling, that is wonderful, but I can never forgive her because she almost got your dad hung." Malcolm, "Julia, darling, please listen carefully. While I was away, we stayed at a very kind elderly couple's house by the sea. We surprisingly bumped into Lisa and her new husband. We had many talks together. Going back to the days when she took me to court, she never wanted to do this." Julia, "Beloved, I don't understand what you mean, and so, why did she try to kill you?" Malcolm, "She did it because she herself was being threatened. Darren threatened Lisa very convincingly that he would get him and his mates to kidnap her and our children and kill them, and that if she didn't take me to court to try and get rid of me, that our children would be dead. She did what she had to protect our children. It was Darren who wanted me dead. Lisa was not the villain. Darren told her that she had to act as though she wanted me dead, 'cause if she didn't there be after her and her children. Julia, please forgive her. She was desperate." Julia, "Well, that sounds terrible, but then you would have protected her, right?" Malcolm, "Of course I would have tried to protect my children, but these men are powerful and convincing." Julia, "In that case, she should have gone to the police. She would have saved us, and the children much heartache." Malcolm, "But my dear, it was not that simple. They threatened her, saying that there were spies all around the police center, which is ridiculous. But Lisa believed them, and she was scared. Lisa acted out very well, pretending that she wanted me dead, but she never wanted that at all. Julia. But what about the abuse to you and your children? Malcolm. Sweetheart, Lisa has been through more trauma than you or I first realized. Her siblings tied her to a train track, leaving her for dead, which traumatized me. She found hard to bond with Paul because he reminded her of her brother, and when I made her pregnant, she didn't like sex with me, which caused problems, because I need affection and loving, touching, and then she got worse after feeling jealous about our growing friendship, but she really regrets all this and has now even turned to God. In fact, Lisa has turned into quite a nice girl now. So my dear Julia, please give her a second chance, my precious pearl. Sharon, listening in on the conversation together with Julia, nodded their heads in agreement to Malcolm's request, and he smiled at them. Malcolm, smiling, by the way, more good news, I am going to be a granddad. Riley and Phoebe are pregnant. Julia smiled at him, saying, My dear, that is the most wonderful news, congratulations. Everyone then had another surprise. Lisa and her husband walked into the cemetery. They had journeyed back to visit the pastor that Lisa was friends with. Malcolm hugs Lisa. What a wonderful surprise, Lisa, great to see you. Guess what, smiling? Lisa, what has happened to you? You are looking so young again. And what news do you have for me, my friend? Malcolm, Julia and I are getting married. We just were blessed by an angel, and he told us our youth is a gift to us from God. Lisa, congratulations, nobody deserves their happy ending more than you two do. Malcolm, smiling, Pastor, do I have your permission to marry my Julia? Pastor, shaking his hand, indeed, Julia and you are now free to marry each other, and you both have my every blessing. In fact, I do have a free slot tomorrow morning. Is that too soon? Malcolm smiles. As far as I am concerned, I let my Julia go before, but I am never letting my precious pearl ever get away from me again, so no time can ever be soon enough for me to be together in holy matrimony with my angel. Pastor, in that case, I will book you both in for tomorrow morning. Julia, but where will I get my dress from and my hair and makeup? Sharon, smiling. Oh my goodness, sister, after what you have been through, don't worry about the dress. Just marry the gentleman, I will sort your dress. Julia, laughing. Of course I am marrying my knight in shining armor. At last, my dear sister Sharon. Oh, beloved sister, I know that. I was just having a little joke with you. The sister both giggled together, and Sharon held her sister in her arms and swung her as she held her, feeling so overjoyed for her sister. Lisa, and I will help you with your hair and makeup if you want. Malcolm, girls, take my Julia back to my home and get her bathed and nicely dressed. I have a surprise for her this evening. So the girls and the children went back to Malcolm's house, and Julia had a nice bath, while Malcolm went out to buy her a beautiful gold diamond ring, very expensive. The shopkeeper, this ring is very expensive. You must really love this girl. Malcolm, that is an understatement, because there is no limit to how much I love my girl. Tell me, where is the most expensive restaurant in town? I am inviting all those my girl and I love. We are going to have a massive celebration. Malcolm called up all their family and friends that they both had made during their years together, going right back to Julia's school friends. There was about 1,000 people. He used the restaurant's phone to call them and paid the restaurant money to use their phone. He had bought her a fresh red rose. Sharon had dressed Julia up in a very beautiful dress, and Lisa did her hair. Julia, dear sister, what is happening? What is the big secret? Sharon, smiling. Oh, my dear, you will see. Let's just say you're in for a wonderful evening. Malcolm is going to make you feel like a princess. Julia, he already does just by loving me. Sharon, beloved sister, I am so proud of you both. I promised you your happy ending, and you got it. So what do you think? Julia. The perfect ending ever. I am in heaven. Sharon. You look beautiful, sister. Malcolm's jaws will drop tonight as he looks at you. So everyone, including the children, got into their carriage, which took them to the restaurant. And when they had arrived at the restaurant, Malcolm was there waiting as the carriage arrived, and he gave his hand to Julia to help her out of the carriage, Malcolm whispering in her ear, "My angel, you are so beautiful." Julia has her innocence back blushed, and as she walked through into the restaurant, there was live romantic music playing that Malcolm had organized, and all her family and friends were waiting there to join in celebrating the love between Malcolm and Julia. They all enjoy their meal. Then there was a silence in the restaurant as Malcolm gives his hand to Julia and pulls her up to her feet. He then picks up the rose in his mouth and then suddenly gets on his knees saying, "Malcolm, I promised I would make our marriage proposal special, and there is no better way to do it than for it to be in the witness of family and friends. So my precious dove," he gets the ring out of his pocket, "you are the only girl for me in my heart and soul. Will you do me the honor of becoming my wife?" Julia crying happy tears. "Oh, my beloved, yes, yes, yes." The whole restaurant heard the marriage proposal, and everyone in that restaurant clapped and celebrated with Malcolm and Julia. The crowd. "Aw, how sweet." Chapter 23. Happily Ever After. After the most magical and wonderful evening, Julia went back home with Sharon and Ben and Malcolm to Julia's parents knew that the couple had been engaged, but did not realize that their wedding was about to come the next morning. Malcolm had sent one of his personal postmen to send a wedding invitation out to the old Pastor John and his wife Gladys that they had met during his travels. To his delight, they came in the morning. They knocked his door, and Malcolm let him in. The pastor, Lisa, Mary's friend, smiling, hugging, and shaking his hand. "Congratulations, my friend. But you need to hurry up. You have only got a few hours to organize this wedding. You had better be quick." Malcolm, sweating a bit, panicking, but smiling. "How are we going to get everyone and everything organized?" John, "Don't worry, my friend. I will help you get your family together." Malcolm, back at Sharon's house, Sharon also tries to organize Julia. Sharon, "Tina, we need to get our family organized and together. I thought you were going to tell our parents and family about your wedding yesterday. And he's a true romantic, that gentleman of yours." Julia just smiled and sighed. Then Lisa turned up at Sharon's house, and they grabbed Julia's hand. Each to one side of her, they take her away to get ready for her wedding, while Ben went off on his horse and carriage to be with Malcolm. Then, as Julia started to get ready, Julia's parents turned up at Sharon's house, and Sharon let them inside the house. Her mom, "What on earth is going on, and what is Lisa doing here? She is a very bad person, so why is she here?" Julia, "Mom, I am getting married to my beloved Malcolm at least this morning, and Sharon and Lisa are going to help me get ready." Her mom, "We all know that you are both getting married to each other, but I was not expecting so soon because you are still grieving over Trap, and how can you do this to me, just throw this upon me without warning?" Julia, "Dear beloved mother, all my grief towards Trap has gone. All I feel is a delight in my soul that I am marrying my true knight in shining armor. I have never loved any other gentleman as much as him." Her mom, crying emotional tears, "My dear, dear, sweet, precious girl child, I know that you love Malcolm more than anyone. I am your mother, and I have happy you both found each other. I never thought I would say this, but you have mine and you Dad's blessing to get married, and for the wedding to be today." Julia, "Oh, my dear mother, thank you so much. They have a hug." Mother and daughter. Sharon, "We are overjoyed that Malcolm has been found again, and that Julia is going to marry Malcolm." Julia's dad heard their conversation, walked towards Julia feeling overjoyed, and threw a big grin and started crying happy tears, and gave his daughter a big hug. Her dad: "And so you should be joined to him in holy matrimony, too. Malcolm is the one you should have been with a long time ago." Her mom: "I am in complete agreement with you, but what is that wicked woman Lisa doing here? Her presences makes me feel uneasy." Julia: "Beloved Mom, it's all a long story, but Lisa is very sorry for what she did. She did not want Malcolm hung. She was getting death threats to her and her children, that if she refused to take Malcolm to court, they would hurt her and her children. But Lisa, why did you sleep with Darren when he escaped prison that time?" Lisa: "We didn't have an affair. He raped me, but I had to cover it all up as an affair, or he said he'd kill my children and me." Dad: "I'm glad that that hooligan is dead and that we can have a happy ending at last." Lisa: "And Madame, I know what I did was wicked, but when I was a little girl, my siblings tied me to a train track, leaving me for dead, which traumatized me." Her mom: "Julia, you need to call Amy. She will be happy." So Julia called Amy, and she came over to the house of Sharon straight away, riding on her horse to get there. Amy: "My beloved best friend, what is this big news? We only had a big celebration last night." Julia: "I am sorry to spring this upon you so soon, but get ready for the biggest celebration ever, because Malcolm and I are getting married in 2 hours." Amy, with happy tears, hugs her. "Oh, Julia, this is wonderful, wonderful news. You two belong together. Let's get ready for your biggest day in your whole life. Then, in that case," Julia, getting emotional, "my beloved best friend, I know." Maria and Dawn walked down the stairs and were delighted when they were told that their new daddy was going to be Malcolm. Lisa, Amy, and Sharon all take Julia upstairs to get ready. She had a nice bath, washed her hair, then dried it. Then she put some beautiful powder on and perfume. Sharon's daughter, Christina, Dawn, and Maria were chosen to be the bridesmaids, who looked very beautiful. Sharon had already been up before dawn light that morning, before everyone else, buying the dresses for the bridesmaids, which Julia had asked Sharon to buy for her after the engagement celebrations. Lisa puts Julia's hair up in a beautiful French plait, but with half of her hair still hanging, which she called for her. Julia's parents then called the rest of their family, including Anna, Jack's wife, and her children, and her new fiancé, Robert. Once Julia's hair was done, Amy and Sharon quickly took her to the jewelry shop down the road from where Sharon lived to buy Malcolm his wedding ring from her. It was very beautiful. While Lisa made up some egg, cheese, sardine, and chicken sandwiches up for everyone, the girls then got back home again. Julia: "But wait, everyone, we have the bridesmaids' dresses and the rings and church, everything organized. But what about my wedding dress, Sharon? Why did you not help me find my wedding dress while we was out? Sharon, smiling, beloved sister, come into my bedroom, just you and me." So the girls walked into the bedroom, and Julia was feeling very confused. Sharon opens up her wardrobe door. There was a beautiful wedding dress waiting there for her. Julia: "Oh, my beloved sister, this is so beautiful. But where and how did you get this?" Sharon, smiling: "Do you remember when Malcolm first wrote that letter to you, asking you to marry him, back before you married Trapp? Well, Malcolm and I had been shopping together that day to buy you this wedding dress. I know they say it's bad luck for a groom to see his bride in the dress before their wedding, but we don't believe in superstition. Anyway, we bought this dress together for you. We both know your taste. I just hope you like it, sister. And I have kept it waiting for you all those years, hoping and waiting for the day that I could have the honor of putting on this wedding dress for you as your marriage day with Malcolm." Julia, hugging her sister: "My dear, I don't just like it, but I adore it. It's so beautiful." The girls, both giggling happily, then came out of Sharon's bedroom again, smiling, and then Sharon, Amy, and Lisa helped Julia to put on her wedding dress. Sharon: "Sister, you look absolutely stunning, beautiful. Malcolm's eyes will pop out when he watches you walk down the aisle." Amy and Lisa nodded in agreement. Amy: "I'm so proud of you, Tina. We all know how much you truly love your Malcolm, and I truly believe you'll be very happy together." Julia smiled and hugged the three of them, thanking them for all their support, friendship, and love. The bridesmaids then walked up to them as they had a group hug. The little girls then joined in the hug. Meanwhile, Malcolm also had been together with Ben's help, been getting his parents, all his brothers, sisters, and their family together. He arrived at the church first, but he had been rushing about. He went inside the church with all of his family as he waited for his bride. Malcolm was dressed in a beautiful brown suit, with a brown top hat and his hair tied back in a bow. Julia's dress was beautiful, an ivory-colored dress with a very pretty bow, with a little bit of sparkle and sequins on it. On her neck she wore a beautiful cross and chain and nice red lipstick. Lisa also puts small red roses in her hair, enhanced her blue eyes even more, and wore sparkling ivory shoes to match her dress. And then Julia, her parents, children, Lisa, Amy, and all the family that was there set off in the horse and carriage to get to church. Julia's family then arrived at the church, and Julia suddenly felt very nervous. The bridesmaids and her dad was there to give her away. They walked up to the church, just about to walk in, and Julia was overcome. Sharon: "Sister Sweetie, what's wrong, my dear?" Julia smiling. "No, nothings is wrong. Don't you get it? It took all these years, all these situations to get to this day. I never felt as strongly as I do for any other human in my life. And now I'm very, very happy and also very, very nervous." Amy smiling: "I know, dear. He is crazy about you too. Take deep breaths, relax, and hold our hands. Come on, your groom is waiting for you." Julia smiled. "Well, this is it." All smiling at her, she grabs the arm of her father and with her heart beating fast walks inside of the church. The church is packed out with people wanting to witness their happiness. Malcolm is at the front of the church waiting for her. As she walks past the people, they all look on at her, smiling sweetly. Malcolm gives her such a deep, loving, and proud glare, both crying happy tears as Julia moves forward to her beloved. With her heart still beating, Malcolm, so excited, runs down to her, picks her up, and gives her a romantic swirl. Then they walk hand in hand to say their vows together, and there is not one dry eyes with the congregation. Pastor John then declares them husband and wife for eternity. They have the most wonderful day enjoying it, together with family and friends. They then set off back home, just Julia and Malcolm together for the night, as family looks after their children so they can have their special wedding night together alone. All day they both been feeling a very strong ecstasy of both spiritual, emotional, and physical love. Malcolm and Julia could very understandable not wait until they both got back to Malcolm's home together. All the way back in the carriage home, Malcolm sent her lots of winks and touched her knee, the couple both feeling heaven's perfect ecstasy. He lifted her out of her carriage. Malcolm: "Welcome home, my perfect rose and dove. We have been both longing for this for years, to be married and to be able to make love with God's blessing." Julia giggling: "Your talk. The truth, my beloved." Malcolm: "My beloved, you are so sweet, even more so than honey or cherries. Let me taste those cherries, lips of yours. Let us walk down the garden where we had our first kiss and kiss, kiss and kiss." He took her by the hand and led her down the secret place where they kissed under a pleasant glow from the moonlight, and where the crickets were crackling sweetly. Julia: "Beloved, your beautiful arms are so strong and your chest lovely and hairy." Malcolm: My beloved, your hair is so beautiful and silky. Let's sit on the swing together. Put your pretty silky hair rest upon my chest. Hand in hand, the happy couple walks over to the swing and has a swing together, happily swinging up to heaven and the stars. Malcolm, my dearly beloved, we have many happy years together, swinging here with you every night, making love to you every night. God is good, very good. He blessed us so much. Julia, you are so right, beloved, and my angel visited me last night to inform me that when it is our time to leave this earth, one will not be without the other, because we will die in each other's arms, and even in death we will still go on into eternity together, to be each other's soulmates in the life after in heaven too. Malcolm, my beautiful dove, you are so right. I also had that said from my angel too. But, beloved, let's not think about that, because we have many happy years ahead. I was told another 100. Come, my beloved, let's go inside. Let us make love the way we have been longing for all those years. The perfect love making not just mere skin on skin, but also with our heart, soul, and spirits too. The love making that makes you complete. The love making that God has blessed. For what God has joined together, no man will ever separate. My heart, soul, and body is thirsty, and I know your is too. Indeed, my dove, we are a match made in heaven, and tonight we will reach paradise heights. Strokes her chin tenderly, looks in her eyes, and passionately kisses her again. Julia, before we make love, let's dance, and let the dance move into our love-making. Malcolm smiling and twinkling his eyes. I will be more than honored, my perfect dove. Under the starlight they danced cheek to cheek, heartbeat to heartbeat, and soul to soul, in the warm glow of lovers' heat, feeling the love and spiritual ecstasy. Malcolm puts his hand behind her head, tenderly stroking her head. Malcolm whispering in her ear, "You are so perfect and beautiful, inside and out. You have always been my angel." Julia, my beloved is strong, but kind, sweet, and sensitive, and I feel safe and loved in your loving arms. Malcolm, oh my girl, you have the tenderest and loving kind heart, more than anyone in the world does. You're the most beautiful girl in the world. Sometimes I even wonder if you're an angel. Julia, my beloved, you're the most perfect gentleman for me. Nobody has a heart like yours, like a true king. Hotter than 1,000 suns is our heart, love for each other. I will always be faithful, loving, and good to you. You're the only man eternally for me. Malcolm, oh my dove, I know you will be, as I will be forever, faithful, loving, and good to you. You're the only girl eternally for me. Girl, you never stop to amaze me by your sweet words, but you are right, my angel. Our love is hotter than 1,000 suns, girl. Now let's give each other our love to each other, your love to me and my love to yours, touching each other, forever faithful, loving and good to each, until the very end. Malcolm and Julia then walked hand in hand to the marriage bed of love and made love in perfect and complete love, feeling as if they were in heaven. From that day forward, they had many more sweet and perfect nights together, and had more beautiful children together, and as for the owls, well, they just kept singing a more sweeter and cheerful song as each day passed. And if you've been reading the story before, you will know what I mean by the owls singing sweetly. The end.